Good morning.
How's real estate?
Great.
How great is it?
Unbelievable.
Give yourselves a round of applause this morning for being here. I see Juanita's making her way in. We'll have a couple of late bloomers, etc. For those of you that wore your ugly Christmas, oh, this is your ugly Christmas. Stand up then, Olivia. Yeah, on the naughty list. She's all lit up. Look at her, huh? Nice. You guys see Sandra back there? Turn yourself on, Sandra. Come on, turn yourself on. Here we go. Where she's all, wait, hold on. There you go. Look at her, huh? Nice. So today after the meeting, as you see, today's our last meeting of the year, of the calendar year. It's actually one of the first meetings of our business year, which has already started as of December 1st. So I know a couple of people are probably going to show up late because they're doing some cooking and some baking mas que nada. So that'll be fine. So today's meeting, I just want to share a little bit of reading, and then I'm going to go into two aspects on something that I call managing expectations. But let's read a little bit of this first, okay? The need for intelligent activity. Many of those that are in search for success and happiness are already working hard, but they just seem not to be getting anywhere. The problem is that in order to produce the desired result, we must put intelligence as well as intensity. Intelligence as well as intensity. I'll give you an example. Right now we are we're less than a week away from Christmas, which is probably the biggest holiday of the year, Christmas. And some agents have mentally done what?
Fall asleep.
Checked out. Now, why do you think? We're talking about intelligent activity. Why do you think some agents have done that?
Because they feel either they're going to get the kids' presents or else everyone else is going to get the presents, and not everyone's in a mental state of mind to buy a home at this time.
So that's what I was looking for. Not everyone is in a mental state of mind to buy real estate at this time. Go ahead, Laura.
I was going to say they think it's the end of the year already.
They think it's the end of the year. False. We create our own reality. There is never not a good day or time or season for somebody to buy real estate. Let me let you know that this weekend we had 2 open houses, and both will serve as a great example. One is the one on Satacoy. It was held open by who? Don Carlitos. Oh, really? Okay. So Don Carlitos held an open house as well, right? Maybe. And he picked up a buyer that is writing an offer on that listing. This weekend. The weekend that nobody sells real estate, wrong. Of course people buy real estate and sell real estate all throughout the year. Jerry Asensio Jr. held an open house on my Amistoy listing. Usually you get 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10 families. He got 50 families through there on Sunday, yesterday. Picked up a buyer, is writing up an offer. Give it up for that. Nice. The moral of the story is, don't check out. Do not check out. Because, this is not a pair of shoes. People are going to buy a piece of real estate. It's the biggest financial decision of their life. There's never a bad time. Yes, you're going to buy little trinkets right now and Christmas ornaments and all this kind of stuff. But at the end of the day, people still need a place to live. So our business is all year round. We don't go into hibernation. If these 2 agents, Don Carlos on one hand, Jerry Asensio Jr. on the other, would have gone into hibernation, that client would have not been picked up by then. Now, whether the offer materializes, all this other stuff, we'll see. But the ingredients are there. That's why I wanted to read this part about intelligent activity. Many of those in search of success and happiness are already working hard, but they seem to not be getting anywhere. The problem is that in order to produce the desired results, we must put intelligence as well as intensity into our activity. Action without intelligence can be destructive, but we must spend not too much time in the process of acquiring intelligence. I get together with you guys here for 60 minutes every 7 days. That's not a long time. That's the time that you should dedicate to focus on your mind, the time that you should dedicate to learning the legal aspects of real estate, or what I call real estate. But you can't do that, 7 days a week, 8 hours a day. No, you actually have to go out there and sell. You actually have to go out there and serve. You actually have to call people. You actually have to prospect. You actually have to do open house. Okay? Intelligent activity and then intensity in the activity. Both are incredibly important. Action without intelligence can be destructive, but we must not spend too much time in the process of acquiring intelligence. All things must be in their rightful ratio. There are people that I call them career students. They're going to go to school forever just for the purposes of going to school. They're never going to graduate. And at the end, you have to graduate. You need to go into the real world. You need to actually get to work. And that's what it is in real estate. I see some agents that love coming to the classes. They love going to this seminar and that seminar and learn this and get that, title and take that class. Well, wait a minute. But when are you going to sell something? I mean, it's good for you to have intelligence, but you actually need to go talk to people, real people. So that's what this little intelligent activity is all about. All things must be in their rightful ratio. It's so easy for us to mistake, these are powerful words. It's so easy for us to mistake motion for progress. Are they the same?
No.
What's motion? Movement. But movement that not necessarily gets you to progress. That's what the difference is there. Motion, progress. It's so easy to mistake motion for progress and movement for achievement. That's why activity must be deliberately planned, carefully refined, and consistently executed. Good stuff. And then there are others, those that hibernated today. I know that there are some agents, I see a couple of empty seats here. I can think of a couple of agents that should be here that are not here. So you got to think about that. There's never a bad time to buy and sell real estate. Never. People ask me, Jerry, you've traveled the nation and so on and so forth, and you have all this great wisdom. Can you give me a little bit of advice? Sure. When's a good time to buy? I say, when you can. What do you mean? Can you buy right now? Yes, then buy. But what about the market? Second bubble, hold up for a second. There's no guarantee that you're going to be able to buy tomorrow. So if you can buy today, buy today. Now you're not buying as a get rich quick. You're buying as a long-term investment. Because even if nothing else happens, 30 years from now, you make 360 consecutive payments, and they give you the pink slip to the house. It's not going to be worth any less, I'll tell you that. And well, what if it goes down? What if it goes down? And then I tell them the story of what I told my wife one day when I woke up and said, honey, how does it feel to live in $1 million house? $1 million house, she said. Which one? This one. My neighbor, Jose Gomez, you guys don't remember Chelo, Jose Gomez, our real estate agent? He just sold for $1,050,000. $1,050,000. Oh, wow. So we live in $1 million house? Yes. And then a couple of years later, turning around and say, Marty, how does it feel now to live in a $300,000 house?
Oh, no.
And she said, well, which one is that? Honey, we haven't moved. We're still here in Astoria. It's the same house. Which one is it? This one. And now it's maybe back up to $750,000 or something. Does it matter? No, doesn't matter. That's where I have my horses. That's where I raise my kids. That's where I do my cook-offs. That's where I do my grilling. I did my big pozo in the ground and all this kind of stuff. That's my place. It doesn't matter if it's $1 million or if it's 300,000. The day they give me the pink slip, I own the palace. It doesn't matter. Now, things can happen. Things can scar your credit. You can get a judgment. There can be many other things. Life happens to all of us. So if you can buy right now, buy right now. Now, you may have what I call not an objection, but a condition. Now, a condition means you can't buy right now. Here's why. Here's why. Then don't worry about it. You can't buy right now. Why are you worried about timing? Worry about it when you can buy. So, in summary, when is the best time to buy?
When you can.
When you can buy. When you can buy. And this is not the Dave Delgado, come to my seminars, Tom Vu, come to my seminars, live on beautiful yachts with beautiful women, all the midnight, shows that you see, getting rich quick schemes, and that's not what real estate's about. Real estate is about purchasing one APN at a time and hopefully chipping away at it until it's paid. This weekend, we had the parade, right? And by the way, who was there? Who was there at the parade? Okay. Had an awesome time. Awesome time. Connected with a lot of people, did a lot of announcements for you guys. You had every opportunity to take your business cards and say hello to people and talk to them. And who knows? One of those little candy canes that you gave may be a transaction. One of the guys that was on horseback, Charro, pulls me over, the guy Jesus Chuy Garcia, which I'll tell you the story about right now. He says, hey, this guy over here, he wants to buy. And I'm dressed up in full Charro with my microphone in my hand. Oh, great. He says, well, I'm a VA buyer. And I know VA, certificate of eligibility. Don't worry, I got you. I said, don't worry. We'll take care of that. Carmen, come here. Take his information and we'll get together with him this week. That was on Saturday. And you never know where you're going to be, and the opportunity will be right there. If you are flaunting your colors, if you are saying what business you are in. And our number was very loud because it had the La Vaca, people already know the moving van. It had you guys dressed up in your San Fernando Realty gear. It had you, giving out business cards on the sides, talking to people. Those are opportunities. They made the connection with you. They saw you, they're going to deal with you. Así de fácil. So those are the beauties. Well, that guy, Jesus Garcia, that invited us to his ranch after the parade, actually the only people that went to that second activity was Ramona and Don Carlitos, which we had a great time. Tamborazo, 4 horas, he had a taquero there and all kinds of good stuff. It was a lot of fun. And good food, great food actually. That guy is a humble guy, humble beginnings, etc. I sold his house here on Eustis, and he said, yo quiero comprar un ranchito, which is that place where we went, Borden Avenue. And this house that I found him has a front house and then a back house. And then while we were there with Ramona and with Don Carlitos, he proudly tells me, Gerardo, tengo 4 meses sin pagar la casa. What? What the heck? Ya terminé de pagarla. Yeah. So that house is probably worth, in my opinion, maybe $750,000 today. So he is almost a millionaire. Humble guy, hardworking guy, construction guy, not a major education, first immigrant, first generation to come in to the States, etc., etc. And now his $750,000 piece of real estate is paid. And I looked at him and said, I'm so proud of you, Jesus. I'm so proud of you. He said, tell me what the secret is. He said, it's real simple. I never put my hand into the cookie jar. Nunca le saqué dinero a la casa. You see, and that's what you need to inspire people to do. When you buy real estate, guess what? His property was probably worth $1.2 million at some point. But his property was also worth $350,000 at some point. and maybe today his house is worth $750. It doesn't matter. He has the pink slip to the house. He has what you call a full reconveyance. He has in his hand la nota, el pagaré, the note marked paid in full. He made his whatever 360 payments or whatever, how many number of payments that he made, and his house is paid off. So today he rents out the back house and pays only taxes and insurance. You see, that's the American dream. The American dream is to buy a piece of real estate leveraged with somebody else's money. We call them the lenders. Buy it with the lender's money. That's called leverage. But then aspire to one day pay back the money lender together with the rental of his money, which we call interest. Pay him back his principal, pay him back the use of his money, his or her money, and then write it off. And now you own your piece of real estate. You have to put that in people's head when you're selling them the piece of real estate. Don't keep hypothecating. As a matter of fact, I think, don't quote me, but I think that in Texas, they don't do cash out refinances. You can refinance to what you owe, but you don't do cash out refinances. Oh, wow. A good mentality. Because in Texas, they want your loan to go what direction? Down. Not up. Down. So think about that. Because we sell equities. We sell people's assets. That guy, Jesus Garcia, probably everything else that he owns, maybe it's worth, I don't know, I'll just give a number, $30,000, $50,000. Everything else he owns, everything else he has to his name, $50,000. The asset that I sold him, $750,000, paid off free and clear. Nice. Tell me where that man's assets truly are. And that's where his heart is. And he was so proud to say, hey, Jerry, 4 meses tengo sin pagar. What the heck? ¿Qué pasó? ¿Qué pasó? What do you mean? I said, wait a minute, what happened to you? No. I finished paying off the house. See, that is a beautiful moment. On Van Nuys Boulevard, on the corner of Ilex, a guy by the name, and I remember his name, Felix Carrillo came out. I was holding my microphone. Felix, I said, arriba la Ilex. That's what I said when I was down there. That guy right there called me about 2-3 years ago and told me, Jerry, I got it. The pink slip to the house. He also paid off his house. So it's a beautiful thing when you're able to impact people with those kind of stories. So make sure that in your sales presentation, you are weaving in that it doesn't matter what happens to the real estate market. What matters is keep paying the loan down until you end up paying the loan off. And hopefully that catches you on your golden years where now you're on a fixed income and now all that you have to do is pay taxes and insurance. Good stuff. Okay, that's my chapter on the philosophy, what I call philosophy of selling real estate. Let's take a look at legal aspects. Throw on the screen here. We have a transaction right now with one of your associates, and I said, what were the 2 words I said that I was going to talk about? What were the 2 words? Managing expectations. So we need to be very careful about managing expectations. On this particular transaction, both the buyer and the seller have gotten very, very difficult. Very difficult. So, I'll give you the scenario. The scenario is, it's a condominium unit where the seller is selling and the occupant was the sister who is a renter, a tenant to the seller. Now, managing expectations. These things come up. For example, when is he going to tell the sister, who is the tenant, to get out? Let me hear some answers. You're the agent. When should I tell my sister to get out? Come on over, Maria Juanita. Come on over. We can't see you over there. We need your energy.
As soon as you list the property?
Okay, as soon as you list the property. Now wait a minute. If I do that, and then the property doesn't sell, and then I don't have rental income, and the mortgage payment continues, okay? Yes, Juanita?
It'll be cheaper than going into legal issues later.
It could be the lesser of two evils, is what you're saying, right? But of course, you can go into escrow, and then the property falls out of escrow. Now I don't have a tenant. Now I don't have rental income. And you, the agent, told me, you know, to tell that sister to leave. And together with, when she leaves, the check also leaves. Okay, yes?
Tell him pros and cons and let him decide what he wants to do.
Come again?
Tell him pros and cons and let him decide what he wants to do.
Okay, right. So your situation is where you do pros and cons. Here is the pro. The pro is that you are not going to be in breach of contract. That's the pro. Or as Juanita said, that it can cost you a lot more on legal issues later on. What is she talking about specifically? Somebody give me a name.
Eviction.
What is it?
Eviction.
Eviction. Unlawful detainer. Judicial court action against the occupant to get them out. But now I'm talking about the pros being, there's really only one pro, which is the lack of breach of contract on the seller's behalf. Now what does the contract say?
Subject to the tenant getting out.
Aha! Go over, oh, hello. Okay, so if you read the contract says the property needs to be free of tenants, vacant from tenants, 5 days prior to the close of escrow. So, I get a call from the lady, it's a complaint call. Dice, oiga, don Gerardo, como que yo veo que la cosa no va bien. Okay. What's the problem? What's the problem? She said, I drove by the unit several times, and I don't see that lady is moving out. As a matter of fact, she's putting up Christmas ornaments. Now, if somebody's putting up Christmas ornaments, what does that mean?
She's staying.
They're spending Christmas there.
Yeah.
So that's managing expectations on that side. So she says, I want you to write something down. Let's go to possession, where it talks about the tenant. I want you to write something down in the contract that says that she's going to be out guaranteed before we close escrow. What was my answer?
The contract was already written.
It's already on the contract. No, it isn't. Well, hold up here a second. Unless you guys struck out verbiage that's on the standard California Association of Realtors purchase agreement, it's in there. Now, let's take a look. Here it is. If you go to closing and possession and you go to item 9D, it says tenant occupied property. Property shall be vacant at least by default what?
5 days.
5 or whatever you put there prior to close of escrow, unless otherwise agreed in writing. Now, here's where we were talking about legal aspects que dijo Juanita, where it can be more expensive. Here's why. Ahí te va, Juanita. Note to seller. If you are unable to deliver the property vacant in accordance to the rent control, or other applicable law, then you may be in breach of contract. So if there's rent control or there's anything else, then you, as a seller, are responsible to see that through. We're talking about managing expectations. So next chapter, ring. It's my agent. Guess what? My seller needs help. Okay, what does your seller want? He wants an advance. $6,000. $5,000? $6,000. Why does he want $6,000? To give it to the sister to be able to have the sister leave. So, here's what I said. They were at a difference in appraisal, this and that. I said, I'll tell you what. Tell him that I will let him borrow the $6,000, free of charge. No interest on nada. And as long as he meets the whole thing with the appraisal difference, blah, blah, blah. But he was being bullheaded, stubborn. So I said, oh, really? Entonces no le presto nada. So then I turned it around. But again, unrealistic expectations on the buyer's side and unrealistic expectations on the seller's side. So then I said, okay, I'll tell you what, guys. There's another way to fix this. Guess how? A prior release of funds, which requires everyone's cooperation. So we ended up releasing $6,000 from the buyer's deposit to then give it to the seller, so that the seller could give it to the sister, so that the sister could leave and be out on time. Because if it wasn't done then guess what? The sister wanted to stay the whole month. I'm telling you these details because you are going to encounter them. These are real transactions. These are things that you have to think about in advance to manage expectations. Manage expectations. Originally, when I said that I would let them borrow the money, my agent calls me up and, oh, Jerry, my seller wants to go pick up the check. Whoa, 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 whoa. Hold up your second. Hold up your second. I don't just cut people checks for $6,000. I need to know the status of the file. I need to speak to the lender. I need to know that we're ready to fund. I need to make sure that all contingencies have been removed. I need to make sure that very few people have very few cancellation rights. Then I will consider tendering the money, and he has to come in and sign a note secured by a deed of trust for this money, and so on and so forth. The agent hadn't realized that. Managing expectations. You need to understand that everything kind of comes together. It needs to make sense. Then we ended up doing the prior release of funds. Now the buyer is all nervous and, oh my goodness, you know, who's going to guarantee me that this lady's going to get out? Who's going to guarantee my $6,000? All this kind of stuff. You have to think about that when you do these transactions. So then we give the seller the $6,000, and what the seller should have done is said, okay, here's the $6,000, sister. The minute that you pack and everything else, we do cash for keys. Meaning I give you the $6,000, you give me keys to the property, get out. And I have possession. Guess what? He gives the sister the $6,000, and she's still there. Yeah. Well, she put up the Christmas decorations, remember? Not wise. Not wise. Why? You have no leverage. Now, thankfully, people got on the phone, this, that, and the other, no sé qué cosa, etc., etc. She's out this week, right? Sandra? She's out. But now, here's the new expectation that's not being managed. The buyer comes over, takes a look and says, well, if the inside is clean, I don't know because I haven't looked at the property, but the outside is not clean. So I don't want to go in to sign until the outside is clean. Again, you need to manage expectations. What would Jerry Asensio's answer be to that?
No problem.
What would my legal answer be to that?
Let's go see it.
Talk to the seller and have somebody else remove the, on behalf of the seller.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's how I would do that. Go to final verification of property condition, final walkthrough. I would say, look, Mrs. Buyer, this all has a system. This is not the first house that sells. There are millions of homes that have sold. But here's how it's managed. Managing expectations. You need to come in and do the final walkthrough. Apparently, she doesn't want to do the final walkthrough until that's clean. That's not the way it works. You see, you had your right to make sure that that property was vacant 5 days prior to the close of escrow. You were in your right. I'll give you that. The trash, you are not in your right. You are not in your right. What you are in your right to do is to do, item 15, a final verification of condition, where the buyer shall have the right to make a final verification of the property within how many days? 5 days prior. Now, this is not a contingency, but they need to confirm, number one, that the property was maintained in the condition, etc., etc. Number two, that the repairs have been completed. And number three, that the seller has complied with other obligations. Now, the seller has a contractual obligation to remove the debris. But you cannot tell the seller that you want the debris removed before close of escrow. Because he literally has until the date that possession was agreed to remove the debris. So what you do is you go, you do the final walkthrough, final verification of property condition, and then you create a list and say, seller to remove debris, property to be clean outside, blah, blah, blah. And then he, the seller, signs saying, I agree to this, and now the seller's on the hook for those things. That's managing expectation. Not this, yo no firmo hasta que esté limpio. No, we're not in kindergarten, guys. We need to do like adults, follow what the contract says. So, yes, Lydia.
Jerry, I had a situation a couple months ago where it was something similar to that your last statement, but the agent refused.
I'm having a hard time hearing you. Stand up, maybe.
I had a situation a few months ago where my situation was similar to a dirty home, and the agent refused to give the final walkthrough to the seller. And they took care of it, but it was never signed or agreed to. What?
Right. So it's interesting that you mentioned that, because here it says that you have a right to do that, but it doesn't say anything about the actual form. It doesn't say, and you will prepare a form, and so on and so forth. But an agent cannot block correspondence to go to the seller. Cannot. Legally, under any circumstance. So what are the options? Give it to a listing agent. He's blocking you. He doesn't want to give it to the seller. Number 2, escalate it to the manager. Number 3, escalate it to the broker. Number 4, send it by way of escrow. Number 5, hand deliver it. And say, everyone is not wanting me to give you this final verification of property condition, but I'm going to give it to you anyway. This is what's being communicated to you. And of course you document this by email and everything, that everyone is blocking you, but that you got it there anyway. Is that the answer you were looking for?
Yes.
Okay. Everybody got that?
Yes.
Any questions on anything we've covered on legal aspects? Good stuff. So today, okay, you can take that off. We're done with that. Very good. So switching gears, turning on the lights, and so on and so forth. Today we have Jaime and Rosie Tapia and Oscar that are here from Altera. Remember, I asked you this question. When is the best time to buy?
When you
Right.
When
can.
you can.
Right. One of the reasons of when you can or when you can't is because we are an immigrant community, and sometimes our immigrant community does not have status yet. O como dicen en español, no tenemos papeles. What that means is that we usually do not have a valid Social Security number that is issued by the Social Security Administration. And those people ask me the same question. Jerry, when should I buy? And my answer to them is the same. When you can. Well, do you have a good social? No. Do you have income? Yes. Do you report that income? Yes, I do. How? Through an ITIN. Okay, so pero mis papeles ya van en proceso. There's usually a story. There's usually a story weaved in there. Yo pienso que para el año que entra, and I usually tell people, si tú puedes comprar con un programa con tu ITIN sin seguro social hoy, compra hoy. Because it's when you can. You can refinance later on. Don't worry about it. Now, if you can't, then you can't. And that's a condition. So this is one of those things where you need to pay special attention, because this is the difference between another agent that just says, oh, you don't have a social? No. Okay, I can't help you. And you that say, no, we have resources and people and contacts for all different types of situations, including those that do not have a social. So with that, let me welcome up Jaime.
Thank you, Jerry.
Absolutely.
Good morning, everyone. Yes, you know, just hearing Jerry speak, how clients come in and they always see us and they send them to us, when can I buy it? When can I do it? When you can, like really. Talking about these people with ITINs, let me do my, so they come in and with a dream, right? The American dream, el sueño americano, comprar su primer casa. And muchos de los casos, they come in and they say, well, I have about, 200,000, la quiero comprar cash, porque, like, wow, there's people that walk in with that. And the biggest problem that prices since 2009 and now, they've been going up, so they can't catch up to it. They get another 50,000, or they keep going up 100, so they can't catch up. So this type of program helps them. Well, now you don't have to wait for you to buy cash. You can pay off whatever you want to pay off, pay it down, And then eventually you could pay it off when you're done. He goes, yeah, I just want to pay it off. I want to have it. And there's millions of people in the United States, across the United States, and the majority of them, they're here in California. The biggest population is here. And we got to take advantage of the product. We initially started in 2005 when I was at Metro Cities way back when. I was introduced to it. Wow, that's a good program. And then it went away in 2008. Actually, April 17, 2008 is the last one that we done. And then we started again with Altera Home Loans. They wanted to take it, we're a minority company. We want to get it done. Where that mission was there to help home ownership, the first-time home buyer, the undeserved. And it's been a mission. 2015, well, it has 3 steps, because initially it was 30% down. There's only very few would have it. Then 20% down. Today, the good news is that we have it with a 10% down, and it's not out to everyone. We're actually like the first office that has it. We have that guideline. We have the whole thing. We are ready to qualify the buyers that don't have the 20% down.
Guys, how does that sound? I-10 with 10% down. Awesome! Now you can pick up the phone and call some of the people that didn't make the 20% mark and say, guess what? Merry Christmas. I have some great news for you. You got to come in and see me today.
Yes.
90% LTV, 10% down, without a social.
Without MI too. So that's a big advantage. It's not going to have the mortgage insurance. The other thing is that if they only have 5% down in the bank and the rest they don't have it, it's somebody else's account, we'll do a 5% gift. So that's pretty good. The other advantage, compared to anybody that has a 20% down, good FICO, good credit, good income, is that if they had a foreclosure, and this is a rough guideline, it's with us, they're still typing it up as we go, but I was able to get a rough sketch on it because I had this presentation. If they had a foreclosure, 3 years, normally on a conventional loan, it's 7 years on a foreclosure, unless you're going FHA, right? But this product has it for 3 years. If they had a foreclosure 4 years ago under another social, under somebody else, typically that's what it is. They had another social, and they could buy now with 3 years of foreclosure. So that's a good thing too. Yeah.
Jaime, can you expand that a little bit? For example, let's say me, if I use my uncle's social, but it was under my name.
Yes.
How does that work?
So in the past, if you notice, it was stated income, stated assets, no income. They would buy. They work with a social. They go to work with a W-2 with different socials. So with that social, they built a lot of credit, and they were able to buy a house in the past. But the bank sent them letters. Hey, you got to report this. You got to do something with it. Well, it didn't matter. They just kept going with it. Just kept paying the house. But some of us says, you know what? It's not my social. My house is upside down. I'm going to stop paying it. So they foreclosed 2008, 2009, maybe 2011. Now they could buy again with 3 years after a foreclosure. Okay. FHA allows you to do 3 years, but this conventional loan, if you're buying conventional, it's 7 years across the board. Wow. Except for the I-10.
But FHA has no I-10.
Correct. So it's almost in line with the FHA.
Who's backing up this program?
So we're the ones that are writing the guideline. We're writing everything else. We were trying to get an MI to go behind us so we could back it up, but we can't sell it. We can't sell it to the secondary market where somebody will take it. So people ask me. That's one of the first questions they ask me. So what are the rates? Well, the rates are higher than the standard ones because nobody's going to back it up.
And what is the rate on this?
This one, it's 7.99 with no mortgage insurance. So yeah, and there's no prepaid penalty. They want to pay off the house in a year, 2 years. They win the lottery. They get their, let's say their immigration status. Let's say they get their social already. Within 6 months, they do an addendum and they could refinance into a lower rate loan, a conventional loan.
What are the ratios that you're using?
Ratios are depending on. So with we have the 2 steps. We still have the 20% down one. We have the 10% down. We go as high as 55 on the other one. Yeah, depending on the income. Because, let's say they work at a compensating factor is what we call. They've been at the job for 5 years, they've been working this much. Well, we go higher on the debt to income, all the way to 55. So almost like an FHA loan, right? So it has its pros and cons, and I think it's a program for a lot of the people that have that money, they're renting, they're not, they've been saving that money. It's a real good program. I always say, go back to the listing. How did they buy? Did they have a house? When you're door knocking, a lot of times you can tell. Like, I've seen a few agents where they door knock and they go, wait a minute. So who owns it? Are you so and so? No, it's under my brother's name. Oh, why is it under your brother's? Oh, because he bought it. There's always a story. And in most cases, now they want to put it under their name. So there's a way of doing that. It's actually giving them some advice on that.
But in that scenario you just said, would that be a refi under their name? Because they know that
So we
payment-
won't do a refinance on the
Oh.
property, so they have to sell the house.
Oh.
And they have to be represented by an agent. It can't be a for sale by owner, none of that.
Well, that's a good thing too for us.
Yeah,
Absolutely. For them.
yeah. And the way we do it, and it's our guidelines to protect the seller, the buyer, it has to be, it's almost like one of the things that they put in place is, it has to be, no two agents can represent one buyer. So, it's just to protect the consumer, yeah. No, so in other words, if you're the listing agent, you can't represent the buyer.
No dual agents.
No dual agents, yeah. Yeah, and it's something that they put in place just to, it's kind of weird. As long as, let's say you're the broker, you're representing, and somebody in the office, it's okay. It's okay to do that, just not in the contract.
Oh, so let me clarify that, guys.
That's also doing.
In other words, you can't say no dual agency because there is dual agency when there are two agents. It just can't be one individual agent that's putting together the circus and doing all this and that, like the whole, what do they call it, the stack of cards, et cetera, et cetera. No, they want to make sure that there's at least another licensee involved. So even if they're from the same office.
Yeah.
Because if on one side we have Milagritos, on the other side we have Ramiro, that is dual agency, but there are two licensees. So if you come up with something like that, Maria and Juanita, Juanita can be the
Yeah.
listing agent, Maria can be the selling agent, and they're basically almost the same person, but they're not. Each have their own license. No. Questions?
I have a question. When you're taking the application and the buyer says, okay, I have a TIN number, but I don't have my green card or anything. If you put on the application that he is not a US citizen,
He's not a citizen.
he doesn't have a green card, then what do you guys put there?
There is a section there.
Repeat the
Yeah.
question, Jaime?
So, the question is, if in the application, how do we determine their citizenship, their
Legal
status,
status.
immigration status?
Yeah.
There's actually, the new application, the new 1003 has a little slide where it's, you have a foreign national, you have citizen and resident. So, yeah, so we put them in as a foreign national, yeah.
Would you require any type of documentation, like for Mexico?
Matricula consular
Matricula
from
consular.
either their consulate,
Yeah,
wherever they're from.
would that suffice?
That's all we need, yeah.
Okay.
Usually a driver's license, you could get it. You get a driver's license, you can't get an ID, but the matricula consular is all we need, yeah.
Okay.
Or a passport, something that was issued here in California.
Now, for somebody that has a legal social security number, like the Dreamers,
Yeah,
what would you do in that case?
we're
Would
still
you
doing
file it?
the Dreamers. A lot of banks, a lot of companies throughout, they stopped, they suspended them.
Uh-huh,
We're still doing them. I just confirmed it right before it came on Friday,
okay.
to make sure, because there's a lot of issues with it right now, because we don't know where the law's going. But as of Thursday, last week, we're still doing them.
I have a
Yeah.
question. What happens when, you guys know that before, the Social Security Administration was handing out, socials to everyone and their mother. So there are people that do not have status, but do have a real social. It was a real social that was given to that real person back before the time that they stopped giving those out. What's the scenario there?
So when we actually do a qualification, we go through the whole process. If we don't see a red flag or anything that doesn't tell us that's a social, then we just go on with the application. Because when it's gonna come up, it's when we verify the social. Oh, it was just issued 2 years ago. That's when it comes up. But if it was issued back in the 90s when they were giving them, we don't even question it.
Irrespective of immigration status.
Correct.
Their W-2 show it,
Yeah,
we just pass it through.
yeah.
Everybody got that? That's a really important piece.
Yeah.
I have a question, excuse my ignorance. What's a dreamer?
It's the DACA program, the DREAM Act, that it was, I know Jerry you were pretty involved with it, right? With the Dreamers and all that throughout the country. So students that came in, I think it's President Obama that actually gave them the right to be here.
A temporary
Legally?
status.
Yes.
So basically, these are the kids that were brought here as, like myself, as children. They brought me over undocumented at 6 months. Yo entré mojado. So I would have been a dreamer if there had been a dreamer protection, legislation at that time, which is a temporary status that basically avoids, deportation and that kind of thing. So those are sons of immigrants that are, I don't like the word illegal, but undocumented. Their parents are undocumented and the kids are undocumented. But these kids, like me, were brought in when they were 6 months old. And so they're like, wait a minute, what do you mean I'm undocumented? Some of these kids don't even know that they're undocumented because they grew up here like every other kid. As those are the ones that were protected through the Dreamers Act, which was then thrown out by which were then thrown out by the current administration, El Innombrable. And so you can see which way I sway. But anyway, but what kind of saying is they're still doing those loans irrespective of the ambiguity and the lack of clarity as to what is the future to those particular programs. Because these are kids that are going to school, that are going to universities, that now have masters, they have all kinds of stuff. Bien educados, all kinds
Military
of
as well.
yeah, they're working, they make big paychecks, and they have no status. Letty.
What loans are associated with the Dreamers?
First, FHA conventionals. There's maybe in the last 2-3 years, a lot of them helped their parents actually purchase a home.
Oh, because they have socials, or
They have a permit, a work permit. They have a social, and they
Oh,
just
okay.
established. We helped a bunch of them. At the beginning, it was a little hard because we didn't have the 2-year history. We didn't have the. It was a barrier, but the way the guidelines stipulated said they have to be able to renew it. So at the beginning, well, how do you know it's going to get renewed? And the way we verified it is they have it, let's say in 2013, they have it, and then they got the next one coming up 2014, that's all we need. So the history is there, and I would reach out to them. I mean, they need help, they need guidance, they need a realtor, they need a professional to tell them, hey, my parents are worried, what can we do? They might want to sell, they might want to put somebody else in it, no?
The thing is this, sometimes it's hard to look at a person and say, do you have status? But you need to, because then you have to know where, what lender, all this kind of stuff, where to send them. And they present me their documents and I say, is this a good social? I mean, you need to tell me the truth. And don't be offended by the question because some are like, what the hell, Wait a minute, when I got here, I didn't have a real social, so relax, I'm one of you. But you need to tell me the truth so that I can tell the lender the truth and the lender can then put you in the right bucket. But if you lie to me, then we lie to them, and then something gets caught at point of funding. And worse yet, at point of funding, when you have removed your loan contingency and or done a prior release of funds for $6,000 that's not going to come back when you then, for the first time, confess and come clean and say, that's not my social. So you need to have these conversations early, and you guys need to
Yes.
drill them and talk to them.
The biggest issue we had in the past that I've seen is they are working with a social, they're working under somebody else's social, it's coming in, and all of a sudden they say, well, that is actually my brother. I've been working in social for the past 2 years, That's when it gets a little tricky. But most of them are proud. They say, yes, I am a dreamer. I got it. Like this is how I did it. You know, they're very proud.
Is it available in all the states or just
The-
California at this point?
Everywhere. Yeah. The one.
90% I-10 or?
The I-10
And all, no, the programs are available in all the states in
for dreamers.
California.
Oh, this one, no, the I-10, no, we could do it in most of the states that we are originating, except New York. That's the only one. But it's nationwide. Yeah, but if you ask somebody, hey, the 90, it's not out yet, we could still do it. I have the guideline, we definitely originate one already. I already got the grant, we just need legal. We just need a legal department to just finish up a few touches on it, that's it, yeah. It's very controversial, as you know, so.
It's a polarizing kind of thing, because the argument against that, I'll just shoot it to you right now. Are you conspiring to harbor an illegal alien? Okay, that's what they're gonna throw out there. Hey, when I got here, I was an illegal alien, so back off. Give them a chance.
The
By the
IRS.
way, they're making more money than you.
Yeah.
By the way, they're paying more taxes than you. By the way, you are an employee. Many of those are the employer. So do not look down on an illegal alien. They are just a great individual that still does not have status. Not yet.
Clients for life, I mean,
And it's
honestly,
just not,
they're gonna be
and
here
it's
for.
just not Latinos either.
Oh yeah, Russians, we
Yeah.
have Russians, we have
Everything.
Middle Easterns, I mean, it's crazy, it's, you
Hungry.
never know, it's a big, we're an immigrant, we're what is that, nation of immigrants, still.
Yes, we are,
California.
yay.
So the other thing, on that, the government knows they're here,
Yes.
right? I mean, the IRS collecting money every time they file, so they're not ICE, they're, still government, so they're here, they're paying their taxes, that's the biggest thing.
Functional.
Yeah, we have clients paying, like 15, 20,000 self-employed. Why? Because they want to buy, when they get their status, they want to show that they're paying their taxes. And a lot of them don't. So, I'm not going to pay the taxes because, I go, wait a minute. If you apply for citizenship or new immigration reform that comes in, you got to show that you pay your taxes. Did you have a question, Josh?
Any
No,
last
I just-
questions? Yes, go ahead.
Juanita has a question.
Juanita?
Yeah. Oh, I have actually two questions.
Huh?
When you have husband and wife, the one has an ITN and the other one has a real social, that's one. And also for this type of clients, do they get a better interest rate?
The rate's higher than a normal rate, than the standard rate. There's more risk. No, there's nobody buying this product in the secondary market. Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, there's nobody backing it up. So, there's, Ginnie Mae is supposed to be, well, you got Ginnie Mae, Fannie Mae. There's another one with, that they were trying to do it back then. It's, I have the name right here, but it's a May. It's one of those government entities, but I have it. It's in it's in one of my paperwork. Yeah.
Ginnie Mae?
But remember, until further notice, if no one's gonna move those products away from them, they're gonna have to get a higher return. That's just simple economics.
Yeah.
But the way that I say, why don't you find a rich uncle that will let you borrow a 30-year loan at 7.9% without MI? And guess what? No such thing exists. So this is the best deal in town.
And they don't, they'll ask the question, what is the rate? Well, we go through the whole thing. We show them the payment. We still disclose it as a loan, as a regular loan. We still do what we have to do. Make sure that they qualify, make sure they can make the payment. And a lot of times they said, well, you know what? I waited this long. I mean, I have to make it happen. I'm not gonna wait, another year and the properties go up again.
I mean, this is a suggestion as well. I think things will loosen up in the future if this works out really, really good, that they can probably even refinance in the future as well.
They can. Yeah, there's no prepays. They could do it. Yeah.
Wow.
Are the points that generate the cost the same as versus a Fannie Mae, or FHA conventional loan as well? The
So
closing
this is a
costs?
non-QM loan, non-qualified mortgage, meaning that there's certain restrictions. So there is an origination fee that we have to charge. We have to charge it,
How does 10% down conventional cost compared to 10% down this program cost?
It's about almost 10% conventional. So it's kind of tricky because you could have a conventional loan with a low FICO score, like a 620. That's the lowest conventional will go. And it'll be almost the same as somebody doesn't have it because there's a cost on the conventional loan and rates are capped in certain cases. So it's going to be an additional maybe 2% more, for that.
2% of the loan amount or 2%
Of the loan
of
amount, yes.
Now, my question is, do you guys keep all your loans for the full 30 years, or you guys you sell them eventually to a second
So
market?
I don't, like right now, I don't think there's a lender that'll keep them for the 30 years. So we're gonna have somebody else service it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's very difficult, and nowadays, loans are being sold, we do have the disclosure that we're gonna.
But is this 90% I-10 program a full 30-year amortization?
Correct,
With no balloon payment?
correct.
It is
Yeah.
a full 30-year loan. You can keep it for 30 years
Yeah.
if you want.
But you sell them to a servicer?
No, it's staying,
Or you just have
yeah,
that? Okay.
yes.
Will these servicers be anyone like Chase or
No, they won't
Wells
touch it.
Fargo? Or
No.
would it be
No.
a company like back east somewhere out in the boondocks?
Most of these are private. If anybody buys any type of paper like that, it's gonna be private. Yeah. Josh?
I just wanted to point out that ever since we teamed up with Jaime and Oscar and Rosie at the Swami, you guys know we work there, and everything comes in from $0 to hero to $1 million to $2 million. So the thing I wanted to point out was they've already closed our Dreamers about 2 years ago, the Morales family. So those were the Dreamers, and we were like, can it be done? Like, yeah, it got done.
Yeah.
Something I couldn't believe. So we're tapping into new avenues that some other agents don't want to work with, So right now we're getting close to doing the I-10, and it's something that I get a lot at the Swami. It's like, hey, do you do I-10? Nah, this agent told me no. So at the end of the day, their team has broadened our spectrum just to tap it more if you guys want to tap into that. But it's just about a matter of you getting into those type of clients and saying, hey, you know what? I have a program that might work for that. So you just got to be serviceful in one way or another and see if we can cater to it.
Yeah. The biggest challenge I think that we get is from a lot of the offers is the listing agents. Like, what is this? I don't have a DU. I don't have that. Are you sure you could do this loan? Yeah, we've done over 300 loans on that. So yeah, we could do it, I don't mind if you get an offer from someone else going through it and make sure that they're ready to go if you get one. So if you do get a listing, we could get it done. Usually, unfortunately, they get a property that has been in the market for a while, is not selling, and they're gonna pay a higher price. It's gonna happen. That's the disadvantage that they get. There's a lot of it. But if you see something like that, help them out. Help those buyers, even if it's not your own buyer. This type of loans are very, very good. And in the future, it's gonna be. I believe they're here to stay because we've been doing this since 2006. If they go away, guess what? They don't have to worry about it. They have a note on that property already. As long as they make their payments, nobody's gonna foreclose on them.
So in closing, we don't want to micromanage the program per se. What we want is to paint a picture of what is possible. What is possible? Because yesterday, your response on, hey, I have 10% down, but I don't have a social. No, you need big bucks to be able to buy without a social. Today, well, it depends. Maybe even with 10% down, as little as 10% down, you can buy with an I-10. So that takes you to the next level, to the next conversation, to the next thing. Okay?
I'm gonna say one thing. With the I-10, I get a lot of buyers. Oh yeah, this so and so's doing it. Oh yeah, so and so's doing it. You're not the only one. But really, what are the rates? Oh, this is it's a hard money loan. I go careful with those. They might have for 2 years. They might have for 5 years. It could go quick. This is not a hard money loan. It's a 30-year fix because that's what they want. We did in the past did a 5-year fix when the whole immigration reform was looking good. So we pulled it off. Rate was a lot lower, about 2% lower, but we just decided it's gonna be, well, let's take it off and go with the 30-year fix, and we don't have to worry about it.
Let's thank the entire team from Altera. Phenomenal stuff, phenomenal stuff. So make sure that you connect with them and that you take their business card and all that good stuff. Because these are the type of things of what I call real estate. You're gonna encounter real people that have these situations. So that's how we do it. Come on up here, Mr. Oquist, and tell me what's inside this particular bag. Oh, you have one over there as well? Nice, nice, nice. Oh, you come dropping off packages.
Buenos dias, Feliz Navidad. Looking forward to your Christmas party. Year-end celebration. And I wanted to hand this out quickly. Oh, I'm so sorry, Jerry. Hector, there's the latest, newest property profiles.
Thank you, Steve.
How's it look?
I haven't opened it yet.
These are fantastic. They're super clean. They look beautiful. They are
I weighs about 25 pounds.
very nice for your clients. They're colored. They're laid out excellent. They have different examples in color for what the plat map, the tax roll in detail, the comps. So those are ready for you. Another part to this. There's the hazard disclosure, the pre-one. That comes up. Now when you open escrow, you can open up then have another one brought to you from whatever company you're working with. But this comes together and you can sit down with your client, offer this with it. Comes with a farm setup. So when you sit down on your listing presentation, you can say, we have a great marketing team at San Fernando Realty. Here's the people in the area. The labels are ready to go. Let's sign the contract and we're going to get these out to the local people in the neighborhood. Has a beautiful buyer's book. Has an open house clean book ready to go. Has a seller in detail from A to Z. So when you need a profile, just call up customer service, call myself, leave it on a text. They will be delivered the same day. Beautiful, ready to go, and it comes with the package part here. Simple, clean, efficient. Yes.
Steve, I ordered. Steve,
What's that, Hector?
Go ahead, go ahead.
Steve, do we have to ask for that? Because I've ordered a few and mine didn't
Just
come
order a
like that.
VIP profile
Oh.
for San Fernando Realty, and they'll put it all together for you.
Oh, I see.
VIP profile, that's what that product is.
Yeah.
Yes,
See,
Hector.
it looks very, very impressive. I just went through it right now. It looks very impressive. I think I'm going to sell it for about $1,050.
Yeah, just use it. Whatever you can use for it. And you know, if you have a client or just somebody you want to send it out, get it out, take a look at it, review it, order one, and I'd love to get it out for you. Thank you.
You know, one of the things I just noticed, even for the clients we just closed escrow,
Oh,
this
yeah.
would be a very good item for them to have, you know, for like their paperwork and so forth.
And on any transactions, when you close the transaction, ask me up front, and then I'll get you the deed the same day it records, so you can send that out to them along with it. So it'll be the updated deed. Thank you.
Awesome! Awesome, awesome, thank you. Now we have some raffles, right? We're raffling off on behalf of Hector Camino Casillas, these two Mega Millions and Powerball.
No, Jerry, on those, that's like just for the whole office.
Right.
Because that, yeah, right.
Yeah, this is for office associates that want to participate, as long as you were here before 8:30.
No,
9:30, okay. Was anyone here not here by 9:30? Okay, so you guys are disqualified, but everybody else gets to participate, those that were here by 9:30.
Including staff.
Including staff, okay. Okay, so Olivia, put that into a shaker. Come on up here, escrow, or whomever else is going to say hello here. And while escrow comes up, we have Mr. John Wax in the back saying hello to Mr. John Wax.
Hello, everybody.
Which, by the way, his video presentation, he's a part-time actor and so on and so forth, multilingualist, and he does a very good rolling of the R's and all kinds of stuff. So congratulations, Mr. Wax.
Thank you, Jerry.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning. I see some of us got in the Christmas spirit with our sweaters, and those of you who cannot have any of the cookies and desserts. I'm just kidding. We have a beautiful setup out there for everyone who participated, who brought something sweet. Those of you who didn't, that's okay. There's enough to share. We also have breakfast from Altera, so thank you for that. Today is a calorie-free, fat-free day to kick off our Christmas week. Yes. So if you guys have any questions, again, on prelims or anything to order, let us know. We're always here to serve you. Other than that, I hope everybody has a great Monday.
I did want to, are we ready to do the raffle, or what are we doing? I did want to say that, I remind you, Louis formal wear, $50 for the entire tuxedo and this and that. Those of you that are interested in getting one, just tell them that you're with San Fernando Realty and they'll honor that special pricing. You don't have to, but I mean, the color scheme is black and white, but you can wear just the black suit and white shirt, or you can wear your Christmas ugly sweater. Up to you, up to you.
Jerry, may I say something before?
Yeah.
Jerry, I just want to thank you very much for the Christmas parade. It was very, very powerful. It was very awesome. It's the second time we did it, and it felt really, really good. I also want to thank Olivia and Carmen, and also your family, your mom, your dad, and your kids for putting it all together. The behind the scenes is just incredible. And you know, I want to just give a special shout out to Carmen, because I know that you need a special program for the Guardian Angel at 2 different days, and this girl just got to work on them. Just amazing with the smile, no, a can-do attitude. There was no attitude, there was no, ooey, I'm not going to do this, she just did it. And I love that about her very much. You know, Jerry, you have an excellent team. Keep it up, man. I just want to thank you for that.
No fooey? Yeah. And she's not even Catholic, so how about that? She prepared the thing for a day of Our Lady of Guadalupe. I love all faiths, I'm just kidding. But she did prepare that for our parish. So thank you for that. Okay, let's bring out the little raffle winner. So, this is for what? For the
property profile.
Oh, the chocolate and the wine? Oh, okay. This is not from Steve, but whoever's going to get it will remember that we mentioned him. But the chocolate Lindora. Oh my God, this is like a reverse psychology or something? I'm just kidding. And the winner is, come get your calorie-free Lynn Ramiro! Okay.
Yes, they are. Too good.
Okay, here goes the bottle. Hey, Steve, pull it out. No.
I don't have the wine.
Oh, let's let the light girl pull it out. Okay. Come on. The light girl is pulling it out. The winner is Olivia Chavez. And then,
yes, she does.
And now it's for the.
She's lucky.
Now it's for the lotto tickets, right?
No, Jerry. Those are for the whole office that came to the meeting today.
Oh, I see.
So what happens is it's a chance for 269 million and 224 million.
So anyone that was here prior to 9:30, you are automatically in this number. And I'll give this over to Carmen. She can get it scanned. We'll send it out to everyone. Pray that we win tonight, and then you may be sitting next to a new millionaire. Okay? All right, good stuff. We do not have caravan. Our year-end celebration is the day after tomorrow. If you have any questions, just see Olivia on that. She's your point. And anything else? Oh, yes, Mr. Uber. If you are going to drink, which I hope you do, and we're going to have an open bar for most of the night. So I want you to enjoy some great cocktails and have fun and all that kind of stuff. Just don't drive. So the best thing is Uber Asensio, my cousin Uber Asensio, and they said that he's also related to my tia Lyft. So any one of those family members can take you home and then not have a $15,000 DUI, okay? So come, have fun, just relax, and so on and so forth, blah, blah, blah. Okay? Anything else? Well, our first annual cookies, cake, coffee, and cochinadas, whatever, okay. And that was actually a calorie-free. That was actually an inspiration and a suggestion by Laura Galindo. So thank you, Laura, for wanting to spread the Christmas cheer. She's the one that brought it up and said it would be nice if we would do this. And I said, that's a great idea. Let's put it into action. So right now, whether you brought something or not, there are plenty of calories back there for you. Let's go back there. Let's enjoy. I brought over the Keurig machine. You can have a cappuccino. You can have a latte. You can have a dark roast. You can have some hot cocoa. And then taste whatever's there. We can mingle for a little while and just, I prepared this, I prepared that. Unofficially, anyone can say if that's your secret recipe or whatever. And just have a little bit of fun before calling it a week, okay? Because I know that Wednesday's probably gonna be light, the women are probably gonna be doing all their hair and all this fancy stuff, so go out, get beautiful, and we'll see you on Wednesday night. It's gonna be a fabulous night, okay?
Yeah.
Good stuff, all right! Fourth place, $465,000, Mr. Hector Camino Casillas, right over there. Third place, over $552,000, Don Carlos Bojorquez. In sales. Second place, $930,000, and double dipping as Mrs. Santa, Lucy Herrera. Congratulations. Our own Lucy Herrera was the honorary Mrs. Santa. How nice is that?
That was nice.
And first place with just under $1 million as well, $939,000, Salazar Group. Congratulations. And on the listing side, congratulations with one new listing to Mr. Hector Camino Casillas once again. And taking off the year strong with 3 new listings, Mr. Carlos Bojorquez. Congratulations. I announced the fact about your open house earlier today, and I recognized you. You showed up late, but I already did that. So congratulations to Carlos Bojorquez that had a very successful turnout, as well as to Jerry Asensio. There is never a bad day to sell real estate. There's never a bad day to have open house. There is never a bad day to sit with somebody and find out what the possibilities are to get them into a property. And the best time to buy is when you can. Right now, our friends here from Altera have given us a fabulous presentation that are going to make you stronger, are going to make you more money, but most importantly, you're going to be changing lives of beautiful people that are part of the fabric of our community that are going to be the next millionaires. So make sure that you do not close the door of the American dream on those people. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Good stuff. Give me a drum roll. Salazar, Hector, Carlos, Lucy, Salazar, Hector, Carlos, and Salazar Group. Let's go back there and enjoy some goodies.